everyone, it's Kathy from Fireweed Crochet, and today I'm going to show you how to put together a garland of flowers for springtime. They're very sweet. I have them hanging in a string under my mantle. Helps me get into the springtime mood. We are using the flowers to build this garland that we made in the first tutorial. In the first tutorial, I showed you how to make flowers on their own, these simple, sweet flowers. And once you make enough of them, I used 15 in this garland, you are ready to string them together and make this garland. So 15 of springtime colored flowers put together with a green yarn to round out that springy feel. I did put on either end of the garden, I built in a little loop so that it is easily hung on a little hook or a little nail. Something that I found helpful to build this garland was marking with some blue tape on my table little marks that are 4 inches apart. That helps me eyeball where to put the flowers along the chain of the garland in a more or less uniform way. That's more pleasing to the eye, so I didn't spend a lot of time being super precise about it, but you can see that they're about 4 inches apart all the way along. So just like the sweet flowers, we're using 100% cotton yarn, the sugar and cream, and a 5.0 millimeter hook, and of course a little needle to sew in the ends at the end. To begin with, just do a simple slip stitch, and I do my slip stitch like this, and I grab the loop and move it to the end of my finger, and then take the back loop and move it over the end loop. Insert hook, pull it tight by grabbing the thread, the tail. To start, we're going to do 10 chains in order to make that first loop. So 1, 2, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 chains, and then loop back around to that very first chain and insert hook into that first chain. To form that loop, and then you're gonna yarn over and pull through that loop, and then your other loop for a slip stitch, and that completes your loop. Pull it tight, and then we're off and running to continue going with the garland. So I do 20, and then it'll be time for my first leaf. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and I have a little wad of yarn creeping up on me. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So we are ready for our first leaf. Now with the leaves, I do 2 different sizes of leaves, and I'll show you both, and you can certainly use them however you would like. In my original garland, you can see I used just 1 leaf between each flower. So started with a leaf at the beginning of the garland, flower, leaf, flower, leaf, flower. You're welcome though to be creative with that. Maybe sometimes do 2 leaves together, maybe alternate between a larger leaf and a smaller leaf. It's completely up to you. But I do have 2 different size leaves that I like, and I'll start with the larger leaf, and that is to do 6 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then so to make that leaf you do need that chain of 6. So this is in addition to the 20 chains that you'll need and that will appear as part of your garland. But then these 6 chains will be the base of that leaf. So the leaf starts with a single crochet, and that is second chain from hook, single crochet, and then a double crochet. Yarn over, and I like to go underneath 2 yarns. This is a double, and then a treble. So yarn over twice on this one, insert into that base chain, and then for a treble, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2, and then we're going to do another double, pull through 2 and pull through 2, and then a slip stitch. So that next chain we're going to go in and a simple slip stitch, and then I do a second slip stitch. You can play with this and see what you like, but at the end of the leaf I have this kind of gap here, and I'd rather have that a feel of just a skinny twig holding the leaf to the garland. So I do this type of slip stitch where I wrap my hook all the way around to the back. So again, I'm going to show you, I'm not sticking the hook through anything, I'm just looping my hook all the way around to the back, grabbing that yarn, and then slip stitching. So it's kind of like provides a little collar, a little neck for that leaf. There we go. So that's the larger leaf. And now I'll show you the smaller leaf. It'll end up being kind of 2 together here. Let's see, maybe I'll put 2 chains in between them, maybe 1, just 1. Okay, so the smaller leaf is going to be a base chain of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The larger leaf had a base chain of 6. So for the smaller leaf, it's going to look like a single crochet, second chain from hook, same as the larger leaf. Start with that single crochet, and then immediately to a treble. So yarn over twice, and then that next hole, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2, that's a treble, and then we're going to do a half double. Half double is yarn over once, and then into that chain, and a half double, if you'll remember, is pulling through all 3 loops, and then a slip stitch. So simple slip stitch, and then like I did before, I'm going to do a second slip stitch that kind of puts that neck collar on the leaf. There you go. So those are the 2 sizes of leaves that you are welcome to use all the way along your garland. I'm going to put 3 more chains, and then I'm going to put my first flower. So first flower, oops, my flowers are over here. So first flower, I'm going to use the orange, and what I'm going to do is turn that flower around to the back so that I'm looking at the back side, and then I'm going to come to the end of one of those petals, and I'm going to, with the garland on the rest of my hook, I'm going to put the end of the hook into the top two yarn, top two pieces of yarn at the end of that petal stitch. And then I'm going to grab that working yarn and I'm going to do a single crochet. So pull through and then single crochet. Next, I'm going to create as many chains as I need to get from this petal to this petal, and usually that's about 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. You're certainly welcome to adjust that though if you need more chains in between petals. So about 4 gets me to the next petal, and again I'm going to grab at the end of my hook the 2 yarn, the 2 pieces of the stitch that's at the end of the petal. This one's a bit tighter. And again, this, you can really play with this and determine which stitches you would like to grab in order to fix the garland, the green of the garland to the flowers. This is what has worked for me. So again, we're going to do a single crochet, single crochet, and then we're off and running. So our next thing is going to be a leaf. 1, 2, 3, and you can put that leaf anywhere in between the 2 flowers. So remember, I am in general aiming to have a flower every 4 inches. So what that means is those leaves can be, you can put 2 leaves in between them, you can put 1 leaf, you can put a large leaf here and then a smaller leaf in between the next 2 flowers, lots of different options. I think what I'll do right here is just put 1 small leaf in between these flowers. And I already did 3 chains, maybe I'll do 1 more, 4. So that gives me the distance to the leaf. And then remember, when I do my leaf, I need to start a base chain for the leaf that will not be part of the garland chain in the end, but it will be a kind of an offshoot, a chain that eventually forms that leaf. So I chained out 4 from the flower, and now I'm going to do the small leaf, and remember that's a base chain of 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I'm going to start with a single crochet, second chain from hook, then a double in the next chain, pull through 2, pull through 2. Oh, I'm sorry, that should not have been a double. So after that single crochet, it's a treble. So that's yarn over twice and into that next stitch. 4 loops on your hook and then pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2. So that's the treble, and then a half double crochet, yarn over into next chain, and then it's pull through all 3. A slip stitch, and then another slip stitch, the one I invented that loops around and kind of puts a collar on the top of that leaf. All right, so again, just to remember, our garland looks like the flower and then that little chain we made, and then the base chain turned into this leaf, and then we're just going to continue on building that garland by continuing, well, let's see. It's hard to figure out where that working chain should go, working yarn should go. All right. And then we're going to keep on going. I'm going to just reinsert hook. Go, gosh, maybe 4 more. Let's lay it down and see. Yeah, probably about 4 more. And then I'm going to pick this up. Remember, I'm going to turn the flower over to the back side. Take my hook that has the garland on it, and I'm going to find 2 threads to go through here. There's 1. There's 2. Pull through for a single crochet, and then chain 4 to get to the next petal. And then same thing, you're going to insert that hook into 2 threads to really get a good hold on that petal. Single crochet. And then we're off to build another leaf. So let's do a large leaf this time. So we're going to do, I did 4 chains to get to the leaf, and now we're going to do the base chain for that leaf, and that's 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then remember, for the large chain, it's a single crochet. Second chain from hook, and then a double the next chain, pull through 2, pull through 2, and then it's a treble, so yarn over twice, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2, and then another double. Pull through 2, pull through 2, and then we're going to do that simple slip stitch in the next chain, and then the wrap around slip stitch, and then let's see how much garland we need here for the next flower. We still have a ways to go, so I'm going to go probably 5 more. There we go. Maybe 5 was too much. I'm going to undo 1. You can see that there's no distinct pattern of where to put those leaves. I think that the more kind of random they are along the garland, the more kind of a natural look that they have. So it's okay if between the pink flower and the blue flower there is just a few chains and the garland on this side and more on this side before the blue flower. So ready for the blue flower. I did take my hook out and reinsert it in the opposite way. Turn that flower to the back side, to the wrong side, and find a place to grab 2 loops. Through, single crochet, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the second petal. Okay, so we've done 3, and I did realize as I was teaching, building this tutorial, that after I do a leaf, I do take my hook out and I put it back in, and that leaf got turned around. I'm not sure why that is. So that is how to build that garland, and I keep going until I have 15 flowers, and if you're welcome to do a couple leaves in between flowers or just 1. I do kind of like the two leaves right next to each other at the beginning of this garland, so you might consider that. And then at the end, I will do another loop, and I'll show you how that's done right here. So pretend I've gone farther and have completed my 15 flowers and a couple more leaves. And then you'll want to do those 20 to finish. You'll want to do those 20 chains, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 19, 20, and then you're going to build that final loop. So remember, the 20 is between whatever your last thing is on the garland, whether it's a flower or a leaf. So whatever's your last thing that you've attached to the garland, you're going to do 20 at the end and then 10 more for that loop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And then count back 10. That's where you're going to insert your hook. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So in that 10th chain from hook, insert needle, pull through, and pull through again for a final slip stitch. And then I take my scissors, cut that, and then I'm going to pull that whole thread through. I'm going to grab my needle, and I kind of work it down, and I try to stab different pieces of yarn right through the yarn to really get a good hold as I sew this tail in. There's not a lot to work with, not a lot of loops to go in and under, so that's why I actually try to go in between the threads. And I usually work up one side of the loop a couple stitches. And then back down to the V, and then work up the other side. Again, trying to actually split that yarn a little bit, and then come back down. And that feels pretty secure after I do all of that. And then at the end, I'm going to take my scissors and trim the tail off. And do the same with the other, or that initial beginning of the garland when I made a loop. So take your needle and sew in the beginning loop also, sew in that tail into the beginning loop. And you are done with your garland. Enjoy, and happy spring.